The movie starts in Philadelphia, where firefighter Cooper is taking his daughter Riley to a concert as a reward for her good grades. Outside the venue, they join a group of excited teenage girls waiting to catch a glimpse of Lady Raven, the star performer. After the singer steps off her bus, Cooper and Riley head to the entrance, where Cooper begins to notice a large police presence. Inside the venue, he spots officers scattered throughout, raising his suspicions. Cooper tries to be the doting father, recording Riley as she joins a group of dancers and buying her snacks. As they chat, he learns that Riley often feels excluded by her classmates at school. As they continue exploring the venue, Cooper keeps noticing an unusual number of cops and security cameras. Once they reach their seats, they catch the opening act, but Cooper remains on edge, seeing officers stationed even in their section. As the concert kicks off, Cooper covers his ears from the deafening screams. After a few songs, he excuses himself to go to the bathroom. However, once inside, he secretly checks a security camera on his phone. The truth is revealed. Cooper is actually a serial killer, and he's monitoring his latest victim, Spencer, who is trapped in his hidden house. After washing his hands, Cooper has a brief hallucination of his mother standing next to him. Meanwhile, more police vehicles arrive outside the venue. As Cooper exits the bathroom, he is stopped by Jody's mother, who makes small talk and assures him that her daughter will soon start including Riley in activities at school. Cooper returns to his seat just as Lady Raven shares an emotional story about her missing father and how she found the strength to move on. She asks the audience to turn on their phone flashlights, creating a sea of lights as she plays the piano. Amid the moment, Cooper notices police officers escorting a man away from the crowd. There are also officers positioned directly behind him. During intermission, Cooper and Riley head to buy a concert t-shirt, but Riley's size is sold out. The vendor, Jamie, promises more are coming, and Cooper uses the moment to ask about the heavy police presence. Jamie hesitates, but eventually reveals the secret. The police have been tipped off that a notorious serial killer, known as the Butcher, is attending the concert, so they've locked down the venue. Every person leaving is being searched, and all exits, except backstage, are guarded. Cooper laughs nervously, knowing full well that he is the Butcher. Afterward, Cooper drags Riley through the venue, pretending he's looking for snacks but actually checking the exits, confirming they're all blocked by cops. Spotting a drunk woman by the stairs, Cooper subtly pushes her, causing her to fall. As the officers rush to help her, Cooper tries to make his escape, only to discover even more police outside. With no other options, he reluctantly returns to the concert with Riley. Lady Raven announces there's a special guest, and the ground opens for a platform to raise with another singer. Cooper stares at the open hatch and tells Riley it would be fun to get in there to see where it takes them, but Riley calls him out on his weird behavior. He has to stay not to be suspicious, and he stares at the hatch close with frustration. Then Cooper goes back to the t-shirt stand and finds Jamie on his way to the supply room, so he comes along. He notices Jamie using a key card to access the room, so when they're inside, he pretends to help him move the boxes to steal it. The topic of the Butcher comes up and Jamie admits he's been obsessively following the case. He even has some pictures of the victims chopped up in his phone. All the employees got special training for today and even password to identify them, which is Hamilton. After finally getting the t-shirt, Cooper sneaks in the employees' break room with Jamie's keycard. The cops are there going over the information they have, and they agree that if they find the Butcher, they must take him away from civilians. Cooper hangs Jamie's card on his jacket to pretend to be an employee and goes through the group to reach the snack table, so he can hear them better. Nearby, there's a picture of his latest crime scene. When a cop asks for sugar, Cooper quickly finds it to look friendly and cooperative. On his way out, Cooper steals a radio from a police bag. In the corridor, Cooper is blocked by Jody's mom again, and she gets angry when he tries to ignore her. Their argument gets the attention of two cops, but they're interrupted when they hear a man scream. The two officers rush to the entrance where other cops are arresting the man. This time, Cooper also notices Josephine among them. Back on his seat, Cooper discreetly puts on an earbud and listens to the police radio, learning they've already confirmed that the man they arrested was the wrong guy. He was just a thief that panicked because he thought the cops were there for him. As some officers walk among the seats to arrest another guy, Cooper listens to the descriptions of the men they must look for. One includes a white male in his 30s with an animal tattoo on his right arm, which describes him. Luckily, he finds a bracelet on a girl's bag and puts it on to cover the tattoo. After checking the venue's map on the phone, he tells Riley that he forgot his credit card at the t-shirt stand and leaves again. On the radio, he hears that the FBI is setting up tents around the building and barricades on the main streets. Cooper considers pulling the fire alarm. Cooper realizes a security camera is watching him, and he overhears Josephine suspecting that he might try to manipulate the alarms. Instead, he heads to the burger stand and discreetly tampers with the fryer. After he leaves, a worker inspects the fryer and finds 2 bottles submerged in the hot oil. Suddenly, the bottles explode, causing chaos as customers scream and draw the attention of the cops. Taking advantage of the distraction, Cooper steals an apron and slips it on as he makes his way to the roof. There, he encounters more police officers. To avoid suspicion, he claims he needed some fresh air after the kitchen incident. The officers confirm his story over the radio but ask for a security code. Cooper responds with Hamilton, but they remain skeptical and request his ID card. Luckily, he finds a wallet in the apron's pocket with a venue access card, which convinces them to let him go. Before leaving, Cooper inquires about Josephine, and the officers reveal that she's a profiler renowned for catching serial killers. Returning downstairs, Cooper spots the injured worker with severe burns and has another hallucination of his mother standing beside her. Shaking it off, he reunites with Riley, who is worried about his odd behavior. Cooper reassures her by saying he got cornered by Jody's mom. Riley then tells him not to stress about her school situation anymore, as she's made friends with the girls sitting next to her at the concert. As they return to their seats, Riley excitedly explains that this is the part where Lady Raven selects a fan from the audience to join her on stage and even go backstage. Sensing an opportunity, Cooper approaches a crowd handler and claims that Riley recently overcame leukemia, inspired by Lady Raven's music. As the police get closer to their section, Cooper's plan works and Riley is chosen to go on stage. Both father and daughter receive backstage passes, and the handler speaks to a cop to let them through. Though nervous, Riley goes on stage when Raven calls her name, while Cooper stays backstage, trying to enjoy his daughter's joy while ignoring the police presence in the audience. Jody and her mother are furious to see Riley up on stage. After the performance, Cooper notices a girl fainting and quickly picks her up, asking the staff for a place where she can rest. He is taken backstage just before Josephine can spot him. Cooper helps the girl calm down and even offers her some juice. Grateful for his assistance, the manager allows Cooper and Riley to watch the rest of the concert from the side of the stage. Cooper asks if they can leave through the backstage door to avoid the post-concert crowd, and the manager agrees. As the concert ends, Cooper overhears a police transmission announcing that every male attendee will be searched upon exit. However, when he tries to leave with Riley through the backstage door, he finds it blocked by officers. In a nearby room, Cooper overhears Josephine speaking with Raven, and cameras will have photos and data of every person that came to the concert. Getting desperate, Cooper approaches Raven and asks her to talk in private about Riley's condition. They enter her dressing room, and Cooper admits he's the butcher as he takes out his phone to show her Spencer in the cell. There's a button that allows him to release carbon monoxide into the cell, which would kill Spencer before the cops find him. If Raven cooperates, Cooper promises to let him go. Afterward, Raven tells the cops that Cooper and Riley are leaving with her in the limousine, so they get to escape without getting checked by the police. At the main entrance, the crowd is delayed because of the checks, and Josephine worries over the lack of results. During the ride, Cooper tells the driver where he left his car so they can be dropped there. However, Raven asks Riley if she can visit her home. Riley gets excited and calls her mom for permission, so Cooper can only smile as he gives the driver his home address instead. Moments later, they're welcomed by Cooper's wife Rachel and their other kid. As they go inside the house, Cooper reminds Raven that he'll kill Spencer if she tries anything. Over coffee and cake, Rachel asks about the concert, and Raven tells her about the police operation to catch the butcher. The FBI found a receipt for a concert ticket in one of the butcher's fake houses, so they contacted Raven to make the plan. Josephine has been profiling the butcher for a while and concluded he's a white man in his 30s or early 40s, has a position of authority, drives a dark car due to a possible OCD, and had a scarring relationship with his mother. Cooper gets uncomfortable because of how accurate every word is and points out it's getting late. However, Raven offers to play a song on the family piano. She makes Riley sit next to her and uses the chance to steal her phone. After the song is over, Raven says they should take a selfie, but Riley can't find her phone, so Raven tells her to use Cooper's as she takes it from his hands. After they take the picture, Raven asks for the bathroom and rushes in there with the phone, locking the door behind her. Cooper starts pounding on the door, and his family are weirded out by his behavior. The phone is unlocked, and Raven gets to talk to Spencer, asking him for any details he remembers of the area. Spencer mentions things like the door color and a statue nearby. Then Raven starts a live stream on her own phone. She tells her followers all the details Spencer mentioned until one person recognizes the place and sends the police. Raven also texts her driver, who is still outside, asking him to call the cops too. When she checks Cooper's phone again, the lock screen has gone up. Next, Raven yells that Cooper is the butcher. She hears weird noises and screaming on the other side of the door, which suddenly opens to show a very nervous Cooper. He takes his phone and checks on Spencer, only to find him gone. Afterward, Cooper takes Raven to the garage, where he grabs his crime bag and pushes Raven into Rachel's car because Josephine had been right about his vehicle's color. Raven tries talking to him using a mother's tone and words, but Cooper doesn't fall for it. He announces he'll kill Raven as his last crime and then self-delete to stop the monster. When Cooper opens the garage, he finds his family blocking the way. He had locked them in Riley's room, but he forgot about the window and the tree next to it. Cooper is in shock because his two lives have finally collided, and Raven uses the chance to leave the car. At that moment, the police arrive and take the family to safety, while Cooper runs to his closet to move some things. Raven gets in her limo, and the usual driver is replaced by a cop, so she can be guarded too. The officers burst into the house only to discover a hidden tunnel in the closet that allowed Cooper to escape through the neighbor's yard. Moments later, the limo stops and the cop comes to the back seat to handcuff Raven to a metal bar. It turns out the cop is Cooper, who escaped his house while wearing a police uniform. Then he keeps on driving while announcing he'll take Raven to one of his secret houses to kill her, an urge he's had since he saw her on the stage. When the limo stops at a red light, Raven opens the window and tells people to call the police. A crowd gathers around the car and don't let it advance. While Cooper notices his wife left some clothes in the car, Raven keeps struggling with her handcuffs until the manages to rip the bar off. She rushes out of the limo as the police arrive, causing the crowd to step back in panic. The officers open fire and destroy the limo, but when they check inside, they find it empty. Cooper has escaped by putting on a hoodie and mingling in the crowd. Afterward, Raven is taken to one of the crime houses, where she thanks her fan for the help and checks on a rescued Spencer. Meanwhile, Rachel returns to her house after dropping the kids at her sister's. Josephine thinks she should be hiding too, but Rachel wants to be here. After signing some cops outside, Josephine leaves. Rachel watches the video they've found on the security cameras of Spencer's kidnapping and makes some tea. Suddenly, she's startled by Cooper, who has sneaked in unnoticed. Cooper thinks his wife set him up, so Rachel has to admit it. Some weeks ago, she started to suspect that Cooper was having an affair. However, she realized it was something else because his clothes smelled of hospital cleaning fluid. She also heard him lie to a neighbor in front of her in such a convincing way that it gave her chills. One day, Rachel followed him to one of his other houses and left the ticket receipt before anonymously calling the police, hoping they would prove her wrong. Cooper takes off his shirt because of the smell and grabs a knife, ready to attack. Rachel distracts him by asking him to finish the pie Riley made since today was supposed to be a celebration. Cooper agrees to eat after seeing Rachel take a bite. He explains how normally, Cooper feels a sense of calm after killing his victims, but Rachel has ignited a rage in him, and now he's determined to end her life before taking his own. Suddenly, a wave of dizziness washes over him, and he realizes too late that Rachel had found the sedatives in his bag of tools and slipped them into the pie. As he struggles to stay upright, he hears the familiar voice of his mother, only to see her standing at the door, calling him a monster. Tears stream down Cooper's face as he tries to approach her, but before he can get close, the police surround him, and one officer tases him. Enraged, Cooper manages to leap at the officer, knocking him down. Just as he prepares to attack another, Josephine arrives with a second taser, and together, they manage to subdue him As the police drag a handcuffed Cooper out of the house, he requests a moment to pick up Riley's fallen bicycle. The officers hesitate but agree. Just then, the children are brought back, and Riley rushes to hug her dad, unaware of his dark deeds. Cooper embraces her briefly before being taken away in the back of the police truck. Cooper smirks as he reveals a hidden trick. He had stolen a spoke from Riley's bicycle and is now using it to pick the lock on his handcuffs, laughing maniacally at the thought of escaping again. Meanwhile, Jamie, the concert vendor, watches the news in horror as Cooper's face flashes across the screen, realizing he had unknowingly helped a dangerous criminal. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more videos.